Okay, guys, so today's class is going to be one of the most important classes in the English language. So please listen to me carefully. Too many students asked me this question. Teacher, how can I know if my writing is correct? How can I know if I'm writing correctly? And how can I know, or how can I check my writing when I finish any piece of writing? If you are writing an essay, a paragraph, an article, a report, any piece of writing, keep in mind that it is important to try to correct your own mistakes when you write. Now, to do so, we have some symbols you need to keep in your mind just to check when you finish your writing. The first symbol or the first step is checking the tense. You have to check if you used the tense correctly. This is one of the most important steps, and the symbol of tense is T. The second step is preposition. You have to check your prepositional mistakes, if any, and the symbol is PREP. The third step is checking the grammatical mistakes, and the symbol is GR. The next step is checking your word order mistake, and the symbol is WO. The next step you have to check is wrong word mistake, and the symbol is WW. The next step to check is punctuation marks. So the symbol is P, and you have to check if you commit any punctuation marks mistake. The next step is checking your spelling mistakes, and the symbol is SP. The final step is word missing mistake, and the symbol is this. So these are the steps you have to check when you finish writing, just to be able to write the best piece of writing. Again, any piece of writing, if you are writing a paragraph, an essay, an article, a report, any piece of writing. Now, let me show you the way to apply these steps or to check these steps when you finish writing. So here we have a letter. Let's read the letter about carry, the letter that carry. I think it is carries letter, and we have to check this letter, and absolutely we have to use these symbols just to check the mistakes that we have in this letter. Let me read the letter, and I'm going to give you the chance to check the mistakes yourselves. Okay, now, dear Stephanie, how are you? I'm very well. I came in Dublin 2 weeks ago. So notice here that we have prepositional mistake. This is it. And now I'm going to give you the chance to correct this mistake if you can. Exactly. I have to say I came to Dublin. So notice that using the preposition which is in is wrong. This is the correct preposition with the verb came. I have to say came to this place. 2 weeks ago, for to study at a language school. So notice here, guys, that we have grammatical mistake. And I needed to check this mistake, and to know the mistake, what do you think about the mistake that we have in this sentence? Exactly. So notice that I have to say, I came to Dublin 2 weeks ago to study at a language school. So notice that I wrote two prepositions. This is wrong. The correct preposition is to. I cannot say for to study at a language school. I want to learn English because it's a very important language. So can you find the mistakes that we have in this sentence? Exactly. So the first mistake, I have to say, I want to learn. So notice here, this is the symbol, and this symbol shows that we have a missing word. And the missing word is to, because if you want to use the verb want, you have to use to. So I want to learn. Here we have a mistake, which is about punctuation mistake. Exactly. So we notice that the E should be capitalized. We have to write the capitalized E. So we cannot write the E in English in a small letter, but we have to write it in a capital letter. So this is the second mistake that we have in this sentence. So I want to learn English because is a very important language. Exactly. So I have to say I want to learn English because it is a very important language. So we notice here that we have a missing word. This is the symbol. And this is the symbol of the mistake. So there is a missing word. I have to mention, or I have to write the pronoun it, which denotes the noun English. So I want to learn English because it is a very important language. Now I'm staying with a Irish family. Can you find the mistakes that we have? Here we have a grammatical mistake here, if you can check this out. And here again, we have another grammatical mistake in the same sentence. So keep in mind that I have to say I am or am is staying. I have to write the ing with stay because this is a present continuous. So I'm staying with an Irish family. So notice here, I cannot write the article a, but I have to write an Irish family. The reason is because the noun starts with a vowel letter. So I have to write the article an, but not a. So we have two grammatical mistakes in this sentence. They've got two son and a daughter. So notice that in this sentence, we have two mistakes. The first mistake is a grammatical mistake, and the second mistake is a spelling mistake. Can you find the mistakes and correct them? Exactly. So notice that I have to say they've got two sons. Notice here I have to write the plural s because I'm talking about two sons. So I have to use the plural s and a daughter. So notice here I have a spelling mistake because this is the way that I have to write daughter. D-A-U-G-H-T-E-R. And we notice that daughter here is written in a wrong way because here I have D-A-U-H-G-T-E-R. Absolutely, this word is written in a wrong way. Okay. Now, Mr. Kendall is teacher and Mrs. Kendall work in a hospital. So we notice that we have two mistakes in this sentence. So we have a word, a missing mistake, or we have a missing word, and here we have a grammatical mistake. Can you please correct them? Exactly. So I have to say, Mr. Kendall is a teacher. So notice here that because we have a singular noun, I have to use the articles a or an. And because the noun starts with a consonant letter, I have to write a. So Mr. Kendall is a teacher and Mrs. Kendall works. Exactly. So because I'm using the simple present tense and the rule of using the simple present tense, one rule of using the simple present tense is if you are writing a singular noun, absolutely you have to add s, es, ies at the end of the verb. So this is why I have to say Mrs. Kendall works in a hospital. Now the new sentence is saying the Irish is very kind, but they speak very quickly. So absolutely, we have a grammatical mistake. I need you to check the mistake out. Exactly. So I have to say the Irish are very kind. If you want to know the reason, guys, notice that I have the pronoun which is they. And because they is talking about the plural, so I'm talking about the Irish people. Because I'm talking about the Irish people, and because people is plural, I cannot use the verb is, but I have to use are because I'm talking about the plural. So the Irish people are very kind. I knew that because I have the pronoun they. Now, I study in the morning. My teacher's name is Anne. So notice here that we have a punctuation mark mistake. Can you please correct this? Exactly. So notice that I have to say my teacher's name. I have to write the apostrophe S. So notice that this is about position because I'm talking about the name of the teacher. And because I'm talking about the name of the teacher, because this is position, I have to write the apostrophe S, which is talking about position. So my teacher's apostrophe S name is Anne. She said me that my English is okay. So notice here that we have a wrong word. Can you please find the wrong word? Absolutely. The wrong word is said. And I have to write another word, which is exactly. So notice that I have to say she told me that my English is okay. And if you want to use the verb said, you have to use to. She said to me that. But because I don't have to, I cannot write here the verb said, but I have to write told. Because told doesn't need a preposition. So you have to say, she told me that my English is okay. Now, but I do a lot of mistakes. So notice here that I have a wrong word here in this class. Can you correct it? Exactly. So notice that with mistakes, I have to use the verb make a mistake, but not do a mistake. So with mistakes, you have to write the verb make, but not do. So you have to say, but I make a lot of mistakes. Now, Anne, don't give us too much homework. So can you find a mistake in this class, which is a grammatical mistake? Exactly. So because I'm using the simple present tense and because Anne is a singular noun, I have to use doesn't. Absolutely. With he, she, it, any singular noun in the simple present tense, I have to use the verb does, but not do. So Anne doesn't give us too much homework. So in the afternoon, I go always sightseeing. So notice here that we have a word order mistake. Can you please check the mistake that we have? Exactly. So notice that I have to say, I always go sightseeing. Keep in mind that the time marker always should come before the main verb. So, for example, I often go, I always go, I never go, I sometimes go, because as I told you, I have to use the time marker before the main verb. Only if you have verb to do, verb to be, verb to have, or even modal verb, you have to use the time marker after them. For example, I will always love you. So notice that I used always after will because will is a main verb. Another is a modal verb. Another example, I am, okay, or he is always early. So notice that he is, then I said always because I have to write the time marker always after verb to be, which is, after verb to do, after verb to have, after main verb, after modal verb, sorry. Only if you are using a main verb, the time marker should be used before. Okay? Now, Dublin is much more big than my town. So notice here that we have a grammatical mistake. This is it. So can you please correct the mistake that we have? Exactly. So notice that I have to say bigger or bigger than, not big than. So keep in mind, guys, that big is an adjective out of how can I call that? Please let me think. Syllable, haha, okay. Because big has only one syllable, you have to apply the regular rule which is adding R-E-R, I-E-R at the end of the adjective. Only if the adjective has more than one syllable, has two syllables and more, you have to use more. For example, more beautiful, more polite. Why? Because polite has two syllables. So this is why I used more. And as I told you, because big has only one syllable, I have to use the regular rule, which is adding R, E-R, I-E-R. And keep in mind that I duplicated the final letter because this adjective ends with consonant, vowel, consonant. Any adjective ends with consonant, vowel, consonant, you have to duplicate the final letter. Another example, hot, hotter. Notice double T, then ER, hotter than. Because this adjective ends with consonant H, vowel O, consonant T, so you have to duplicate the final letter. Like thinner, like wetter, for example, double T because consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay, so Dublin is much bigger than my town. I like very much painting. So in this class, we have a mistake, which is word order mistake. Can you find it? Exactly. So notice that I have to say, I like painting very much. So notice that very much here, I have to use it at the end. And I'm very interesting for modern art. So notice here that I have two mistakes. One mistake is about a grammatical mistake, and the second one is a prepositional mistake. Can you correct them? Exactly. So notice here I have to say, I'm very interested. So delete the ing and add ed, interested. If you want to ask me why, because keep in mind, guys, that some adjectives accept the ing and ed. Let me give you this example. For example, bored and boring. So notice that we have bored and boring. Notice that bored ends with ed, boring ends with ing. Keep in mind that if I'm talking about people, I have to use the adjective that ends with ed. If I'm talking about things, I have to use the adjective that end, or adjectives that end with ing. For example, this class is boring. So notice I'm talking about the class. I am bored. So because I'm talking about me, and absolutely, I told you that if I'm talking about people, I have to use the adjectives that end with ed. So this is why I have to say I'm interested. I'm very interested. And we have another mistake, which is for. For is wrong. I have to use in. All the time, guys, if you are using the adjective interested, you have to use the preposition in. I'm interested in music, for example. So this is a prepositional mistake. So I visit galleries and museums. I've met a girl named Martina. She came from Spain. So notice here that we have a tense mistake. Can you please correct it? Exactly. So notice that I have to say she comes from. Because I'm talking in general, I have to use the simple present tense. And in using the simple present tense, absolutely with the pronouns he, she, it, and any singular noun, I have to add ses, ies at the end of the verb. So I have to say she comes from Spain. And so notice that here it is the same grammatical mistake. So I cannot say and go because I'm still talking about she, singular. I have to say and goes to. So she comes and goes. She comes from Spain and goes to Trinity College. Last night, holy God, here I'm talking about simple past tense. We go. So notice here that we have a tense mistake. Can you correct the mistake? Exactly. So I have to say we went, not we go. So notice that I said last night, and here because I'm talking about the simple past, I have to write the simple past. I have to use the simple past tense, and the past of go is went. So last night we went to the cinema, but the film wasn't very exciting. So notice here the mistake is a spelling mistake. Can you please correct it? Exactly. So notice that I have to write exciting like this. So this is a spelling mistake. So this is it. Please, guys, you have to apply these 80 steps when revising your writing, just for your writing to be the best and to be totally correct. Thank you for watching, and let me wish a good day for you. Thank you so much.